everyone is doing well. Hi, I am your teacher Lorena.
Hi, I'm Teacher Roosevelt, but you can call me Teacher Bell. And we are your English instructors
for today.
So for today's video, we are going to discuss about sentence diagramming, or how to diagram sentences with the following parts or elements done in prepositional phrases, subject complement, compound subject and predicate, indirect and direct object, modifiers, and compound and complex sentences. So let's start to diagram simple sentence. But first, remember that simple sentence only contains one independent clause. And when we say independent clause, it is a group of words that contains a subject and a verb, and it can stand alone as a complete thought. For example, the dog barked. This is an example of a simple sentence which it has a subject and a verb. So how can we diagram this simple sentence? First, draw a horizontal line. Second is a vertical line. So vertical line separate the subject from the verb, or separate the subject to verb. So, third, let us determine what is the subject in this sentence. So, the subject is dog. So, dog will be placed here. And bark is the verb. So, bark will be placed here. But ma'am, how about the? Don't worry. So, the will be placed here because the is an article. So, in sentence diagramming, the dog barked.
The second sentence that we will diagram is also a simple sentence. For example, my niece sings beautifully. The first thing that we need to do in diagramming is to draw a vertical and a horizontal line. In the sentence, the subject here is niece. So, we will write it in the left side. Below the subject, we will draw a slanted line here to put the modifier my. Sings is the intransitive verb here since there is no object that will receive this action. Below sings, draw a slanted line here again to put the adjective beautifully because it modifies our intransitive verb here, sings. So the sentence pattern here is S-I-V pattern.
After diagramming simple sentence, now let us try to diagram a sentence that has prepositional phrases. For example, the white cute cat in the park climbed up the tree. So in this example, there are two prepositional phrases which are in the park. In the park is a example of prepositional phrases. And another example of prepositional phrases is up the tree. So, in the park and up the tree is an example of prepositional phrases. In serves as preposition and up is also a preposition. So, how are we going to diagram this sentence? So, like what we did before, start with horizontal line and a vertical line. So, let us put here the subject. In this sentence, the subject is cat. And climb will be the verb. And we are going to put here the as an article. Ma'am, how about white cute? So the word white and cute will be placed underneath the cat. So white, and next is the word cute. So white and cute serves an adjective that modifies what cat looks like. The cat looks white and the cat is cute. So, and the in the park will still placed underneath cat. So, in park is the object of preposition park, and the another article the will be placed here. So the white cute cat in the park climbed where? Up the tree. So the second prepositional phrases will be placed underneath the climb, the word climb. So it will be go like this, up, 3, and like what we did here, 2, da. So this is how to diagram a sentence that has parts of prepositional phrases. The white cute cat in the park climbed up the tree.
The fourth sentence that we will diagram is composed of part or element that has a subject complement. For example, Jenny was happy. Again, let's draw a vertical and a horizontal line. In the sentence, Jenny is the subject, so we will going to write it on the left side. Was is the linking verb that links the subject to its complement. Was. So before we move to the subject complement, let's draw a diagonal line that pointed to Jenny, because subject complement completes our subject, and that is happy. Jenny was happy, and since happy is an adjective that describing Jenny, this is a predicate adjective. The pattern on this sentence is S, LV, S, C.
And now let us try to diagram sentence that has compound subject and predicate. So with compound subject and predicate, the diagram begins to branch out. For example, Mrs. Scott and Mr. Tyler are teaching calculus and statistics. So in this sentence, the compound subject is Mrs. Scott and Mr. Tyler. So compound subject means that compound subject is a subject with two simple subject. So Mrs. Scott and Mr. Tyler is the compound subject. And what is the predicate? So in this sentence, the predicate will be our teaching. Why? Because our teaching dictating what is doing by the subject, what is doing by Mrs. Scott and Mr. Tyler. So they are teaching calculus and statistics. So how can we diagram this kind of sentence? So it is not like other our previous diagram. So it will be look like this. Draw a horizontal line. This. Yeah. So we are going to put Mrs. Scott here. Scott. And Mr. Tyler will be here. So, the word "and" is not here or anything, but we are going to make a line here. And here are we going to put the word "and". So, and the predicate. So, let us make a line here. And the predicate will be here. Are teaching. Once again, are teaching is the predicate because it dictates what the subjects are doing. So, here. And then another branch. We need to draw another branch here and here. So, in this part, we are going to put the word calculus and statistics. Like what we did here, we also do need to put here the word "and". So, Mrs. Scott and Mr. Tyler, and is here the next. Mrs. Scott and Tyler are teaching what? Calculus and statistics. So this is how are we going to do when diagramming sentence, compound, subject, and predicate.
The sixth sentence that we will diagram is composed of part or element that has a direct object. For example, Eloisa took a picture for remembrance. Again, let's draw a vertical line here and a horizontal line here. In the sentence, let's analyze what is the subject here. So the subject here is Eloisa. Let's write it here on the left side. Eloisa took. So took is the transitive verb. Let's draw a straight line here to separate the verb from the object. Eloisa took a what? A picture. So picture is our direct object because it receives the action took that is done by our subject Eloisa. Eloisa took a picture for remembrance. Let's draw a slanted line here and write away. And because this is a prepositional phrase, let's draw a slanted line here. Write the preposition for what? For remembrance. Loisa took a picture for remembrance. So the pattern on this sentence is S T V D O pattern.
And now let us diagram a sentence that has indirect object. For example, Ellie gave Ellen a plane ticket. So in this sentence, we have an indirect object. So the indirect object in this sentence is Ellen. So subject is Ellie, verb, indirect object, and the direct object. So how are we going to diagram this kind of sentence? So first, draw a horizontal line again and vertical here. In this part, we are going to put our subject, and our subject is Ellie, and gave. And in last part, we are going to write our direct object, and our direct object is the ticket. So Ellie gave what? A ticket. For who? So here is Ellen. For who? For Ellen. So Ellie gave Ellen ticket. So we can put here X and then A and plane, because modifies what kind of ticket does Ellen gave to Ellen. So Ellie gave Ellen a plane ticket. So Ellen is the indirect object because it receives the direct object ticket. But in diagram, indirect object, remember that in order for a sentence to have indirect object, it must have a direct object. And in our sentence, we have the direct object, which is ticket. And that is how we are going to diagram a sentence that has indirect object.
The eighth sentence that we will diagram is composed of a part or element that has some modifiers, and those are the adjectives and adverb. For example, the fat brown dog ran very fast. Again, let's draw a vertical line here and a horizontal line. Always remember that when you are doing this, it should be straight. In this sentence, dog is our subject. Let's write it here on the left side. Below this subject, which is dog, let's draw a slanted line here and write the article the in a capital letter because the is the beginning on this sentence. Let's draw another lines here to write fat and brown. Fat and brown, because these two are adjectives that modifying dog. The fat brown dog did what? The dog ran. So run is our intransitive verb since there is no object that will receive this action. Below this intransitive verb, which is run, let's draw another slanted line here to put the adverb fast that modifies our intransitive verb. But wait, there is another adverb, and that is very. So we will going to put it below the fast. Very, because it describes how fast that the dog ran. And the pattern on this sentence is SIV pattern.
Going to diagram is a sentence that has is a compound sentence. For example, my mother cooks scrumptious meal and my father set the table. So in this sentence, we have two independent clause. So independent clause can stand alone as a complete thought. So my mother cooks scrumptious meal. One independent clause. And the another independent clause is my father set the table. So the coordinating conjunction that we use is the and. So how are we going to diagram this kind of sentence? So, like what in? Draw a horizontal line here. So, here will be mother, because mother is our subject. Cook, our verb, and meal here. So, ma'am, where are we going to put the word scrumptious? So, we are going to put here the scrumptious, because it's kind of a meal. It's a scrumptious meal. So, the coordinating conjunction will be placed here. We need to make this kind of line and here. So, cook, and then here will be set. So, oops, we forgot to put the word my. So, my will be here. My mother cooked scrumptious meal, hence the word father. Father will be here. So, like this, my father, the subject, set what? The table. So, this is how are we going to diagram a sentence that has a compound sentence. My mother cooked scrumptious meal and my father set the table. There's the article the here. The table. So that's all.
Finally, we are here in the last sentence that we will diagram today, and that is a complex sentence. So complex sentence is composed of at least one independent clause and at least one dependent clause. For example, I wash the dishes after I came home. I wash the dishes is the independent clause, and after I came home is the dependent clause. So let's diagram it. First, we need to draw a vertical line and a horizontal line. We need to diagram the first clause, which is the independent clause. So I is the subject, wash is the verb. So let's write it here, washed. Let's draw a straight line here. The dishes. I wash the dishes. The article the is we're going to put below the dishes. The. To connect the second clause, which is the dependent clause, we need to draw a broken line here. Draw a vertical line and a horizontal line. I wash the dishes. After, the subordinating conjunction will be right here. After. After, I is the subject, came. Let draw a straight line here. After I came home, I washed the dishes after I came home.
Thank you, and we hope that you learned something new.